sometimes I'll just be living my life and content with where I am right now and be like, I'm doing good. I'm not doing too shabby. And then I'll remember when I was about 10 years old, my uncle from out of state was staying with my family. And he was talking to my mom. And he was like, I hear your daughter's an artist. Can we see some of the work? And she pulls out my sketchbook. And all they see is just page after page of self-chip art with Purple Guy from Five Nights at Freddy's. And this was when he did not have like a definite appearance. This is what he looked like to the fandom. And it just, I know we all have our moments, but it just, every time I think about it, I feel like I'm being stabbed. Anyways, what an intro. What's up, party people?
Go shopping at the mall. Oh, that's it.
The Bluetooth device is.
Let's address the elephant in the room. I lost my voice. That's why I sound like this. I was at my friend's graduation. And of course, I had to be your number one supporter. What's that? Oh, it's a YouTube Shorts notification. Who do you think I am? 5? Okay. Get on with the freaking video. I wanted to do this video for a while. The reason why I'm doing it right now when I have a voice crack is because I keep on forgetting to do it, and I'm leaving to go on vacation very soon, and I have a feeling that if I wait until I come back from vacation, I'm just gonna forget about it and then never do it. But I've been wanting to do this for a while. Nobody asked for this. I just want to do it myself, so don't. Oh, you can't really see the collection too much from here. I'll put like a little picture. This, just a fair warning, this isn't gonna be like a basic, like, I show you, this CD, next one, this CD. I want to yap a bit about each CD, because it's more than just a CD, it's an album. Duh. Maybe if there's a funny story about me getting the CD, if I have anything to share about what I think about the album, I want to share that. I'm not going to spend too much time on each album, obviously. I don't have a huge CD collection, at least just from what I've seen other people have, but I'd like to think it's pretty big. I have been collecting CDs. I started my collection in late 2021. I'm going to go by section. Each of these have 4 little sections. This one, this one, this one, and this one. We are going to start with the first quadrant.
Thank you very much for coming to my crib, but now I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
Slam the door in their face.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
This is a burnt copy of My Little Pony Rainbow Rock soundtrack with just the song Under Our Spell. This because when I was in elementary school, me and my friends, we auditioned for our school's talent show, and we wanted to sing Under Our Spell. We had to bring in our own CD of whatever music we wanted. So my dad had burnt a CD of just this song. It's only one song for us to bring in and put into the teacher's dinky little CD player and do our audition in the school gymnasium. Bloodhound Gang. Hooray for boobies. I don't know if I can show this. Where did I get this? I got this from a Half Price Books. Half Price Books is one of my favorite stores to look for CDs. And they have one pretty close by to me, so I like going there a lot. I don't have a lot to say about this album. It's pretty cool. Hey, Pac-Man, drugs are bad.
Pac-Man, more like.
It's hard to rhyme a word like vagina.
Next up, I actually haven't listened to this album. I took this from my dad's collection just because I thought the album cover looked cool. It's Richelieu Eidolon. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm gonna listen to it eventually. Next up, where did I get this? This is, an MTV compilation album called Return of the Rock. So it's got a lot of, I don't know if you can really read that, but it's got a lot of just what was really popular at the time. I really like this compilation album. Next up, another compilation album. This one I stole from my dad's selection. Jaeger music from the Jägermeister beer brand. I don't drink beer. Also has a bunch of cool tracks, some live stuff. The pinnacle of my CD collection, we have my dad's bootleg Limp Bizkit CD. This is of their first album, $3 Bill, y'all. You can't really see it, but it says $3 Bill, yeah? And this is the back. And to top it all off, this CD doesn't work. I tried putting it into my CD player, doesn't do anything. Tried putting it in my computer. Everything that I put it in does not work. This is a burnt. Mama, that burn! Okay, this is a burnt CD of Sound Device. Girl, you can't even see that. The World Goes Round. I don't think Sound Device ever produced any CDs. I don't know if they got very big, but I really like this album. I hate it when you find a band that you really like and like they haven't released an album in like 20 million years, and they probably never will. But anyways, next, we have an unlabeled CD. Doesn't say anything on it. We have two mystery CD. They might just be blank, and I was just holding on to them. But I know you shouldn't store your CDs like that. But YOLO! Burnt bootleg copy of Dog Fashion Disco's what's this album called again? Dog Fashion Disco's Anarchists of Good Taste. Um, the reason I burnt this album is because they do have this album like on Spotify. Um, but they have a re-recording of it. I think the original release of this album is available to listen to on YouTube. And I listened to it and I liked it a lot more than their re-recording. So I decided, because it's not on streaming services, I decided to burn it on a CD. And I really like this album. If you like System of a Down, listen to this. Next up, we have a burnt copy of Heathers the Musical. This is my favorite musical. I know it's a very basic choice for a favorite musical, but I just have such good memories of listening to this, especially watching all those animatics. Um, another burnt album. This is Pictures of Me Broken's Wide Awake. I love this album so much. I haven't been able to find any CDs of it, and I don't know if any CDs exist of it. Another Jägermeister compilation album. I don't really have anything to say about that. Um, this is a fun one. This is one of the first CDs I ever bought to add to my collection. I got this at a Savers thrift store. The Descendants soundtrack. I really liked this when Descendants came out. I did not have Disney Channel growing up. I did not have any like cable of some sorts. I'm pretty sure I watched the movie all on like split up YouTube clips. Next up, I don't know how to say this band. Dimmu Borgir? Burger? I just call them Burger. Burger. Barbecue? Bacon? Burger. They're definitely really different from what I usually listen to, but I like this band a lot. It's really good. I don't know how to describe it. I'm not too like informed, well versed in like specific subgenres. I just listen to the music. If it sounds good, I like it. I think this is like symphonic death metal, I want to say. I don't know. Please correct me if you know what genre Dimmu Borgir is. Another MTV compilation album, MTV Handpicked. I'll be honest, I just like kind of like the cover of this one. I think like the eggs are kind of cool. I'm nothing like y'all. But there's a few songs I like on here. But pretty cool compilation album. Yeah. I had been looking for it for a while, actually. And I had a copy that I burned myself, but I couldn't find all the songs, so some of the songs just aren't on there. And then I eventually found the real thing at Rasputin's for $2. I took this from my mom's CD collection, actually. Guys and Dolls, cast recording. I really like Guys and Dolls. It's not one of my favorite musicals. I love Luck Be a Lady. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Luck Be a Lady. I mean, it's in this. Yeah, it's in the chorus. I don't know what it would be called otherwise. I love Luck Be a Lady. That's my favorite song on the soundtrack. Okay. I got this one also at half price. Warp Tour 2009 compilation. They don't do these like they used to anymore. I miss when they used to give these out like for free. My dad, he used to go to a lot of music festivals, especially Warp Tour. He has like an old ticket from Warp Tour 1997. And that's like 100 years ago. And they used to give out like free CDs to people who bought tickets. Free. This was, I think, peak Warp Tour. Like, we got some pretty cool stuff here. NoFX, Bad Religion, Under Oath, Day to Remember, Attack Attack, Devil Wears Prada, Thursday, Silverstein, I Set My Friends on Fire, and then we have Jeffree Star. My dad's burnt copy of Kitty Spit. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. I know this is a really popular album, but I think Kitty is just so important to me. They were one of the first, like, female-fronted bands. Well, I guess they're all female, but they were one of the first female-fronted bands I ever heard. And it was just it was, like, so exciting to hear, like, a female-fronted band in a genre that's so male-dominated. I know Kitty's very big, and they're, like, in no way underrated, but they're so Like, especially so early on. Like, they're just so talented and so cool, and I love Kitty so much. And I actually met them. Another one of my favorite musicals. I know this doesn't really count because it's a jukebox musical, but Mamma Mia. If you don't like ABBA, then I don't know what's wrong with you. ABBA is so much fun. I grew up on ABBA. I freaking love ABBA. So when I found out that they have a jukebox musical about a girl getting married, trying to find her father, and she has three potential fathers, I was like, oh, sign me up. Mamma Mia is probably one of my favorite musicals of all time. It's just so entertaining. Every single time showing nearby, be it like a local performance or on Broadway, I always have to go see it. It's just such a fun musical. I love it so much. I stole this from my mom's CD collection. Okay. Next up, another Return of the Rock. Um, another Return of the Rock compilation. It's pretty much got a lot of the same artists as last time, just number 2. Audio Slave. Audio Slave. This next one might get you messy. Why? Because it's the second quadrant.
Hey, Pops, does this thing work?
No.
This one is going to be a bit quicker, because a lot of these are bootlegs. Girl, this is just a case. Bootleg copy of Mesmerized by System of a Down. I think this is my favorite System of a Down album. Favorite song, and my favorite System song of all time. And off this album is This Cocaine Makes Me Feel Like I'm on This Song. It's one of the first songs I learned how to play on drums when I was learning drums. Okay, next up, my dad's copy of Kerplunk by Green Day. This is very scratched and doesn't play completely. Another bootleg CD of my dad. A lot of these are my dad's old bootlegs. This is Limp Bizkit Significant Other. Drowning Pool Sinner. Disturb the Sickness. Okay, here's a good one. SR-71. See what's on. No, Now You See Inside. Loved them in middle school, and I still love them now. So I saw this one time when I was out with my friend, but I didn't have enough money for it. Even though it was only $5, I didn't bring my wallet with me. I was just browsing, and I was like, oh man, they finally have something good, and I can't afford it. So I was just like, please, nobody buy the SR-71 CD. I came back like a month later, and they still had it, so I got it. It was actually, I got this on the last day of school. Okay. My dad's bootleg copy of Steal This Album. He actually stole this album when it came out. Not like he actually like stole it from a store, but like he pirated it. Okay, this is another very pretty small band with one album and not much else. High School Sweethearts by Numb. This album is really good. I don't even know if it's on Spotify anymore, but I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. Really good album. You should listen to it if you like new metal. Bootleg copy of Deadbeat Nightlife. Deadbeat Nightlife was recently in my area, and I didn't know. This is my dad's. My dad got this for free at like a concert. This is the promo CD for Dope's single Everything Sucks. I don't know if this is rare, but I have never seen this anywhere. Okay, Skin Lab Revolting Room. I got this at Rasputin's. I love this album a lot. It's a really good album if you're into new metal. This is my dad's bootleg of Toxicity. I know, like, the blue album cover is supposed to be, like, some rare thing. I just printed out the blue one because I like the color blue. I didn't know that it was a rare one. I hope this doesn't trick anyone to thinking I had the rare blue System of a Down Toxicity. But, yeah. My dad's bootleg copy of Slipknot. Yeah, first album. Also, I have a funny story about Slipknot. So, I didn't really get into Slipknot until my freshman year of high school because in my geometry class, there was this kid that I had the biggest crush on. And we had to do like icebreakers on the first day of school. His seat was like right in front of mine. So I ended up talking to him for a tiny bit. He said his favorite band was Slipknot. Before talking to him, I only knew one song. And it wasn't even from this album. I'm pretty sure it was The Nameless, which is a great song. But that was the only Slipknot song that I knew at the time. And after that, I listened to all of Slipknot. I bought merchandise. Whenever I listened to them on my phone, because I would just listen using YouTube, not YouTube Music, just YouTube. So I would have my phone on full brightness, sitting on my desk with Slipknot, me listening to it like on full display to try and impress him, be like, I like Slipknot. I'm cool. He never talked to me again. 100%, the only reason I listened to Slipknot was trying to be performative to impress a guy. But really good band. Really, I love this album a lot. from my local record store, Taking Back Sunday. Don't really have anything special to say about it. Just picked it up. More bootlegs from my dad's collection. Korn, Untouchables, and Mudvayne, The End of All Things to Come. This one is very severely scratched. When I first put it in the CD player, it sounded like shit. But now we're gonna move on to the big guns. The bane of my existence, non-jewel cases, the ones that have like these foldables. I don't like these. See, look, it's already popping out the thing. They don't do a very good job of protecting the CD. They slip out so easily. And worst of all, they are not the same size of, well, I guess this one's kind of the same size, but they are slightly bigger than like the normal jewel cases. I have to hold them separately because they don't fit. Okay, this is Heat Fetish by The Bled. I freaking love The Bled. I can't find many of their CDs around, but I really like this album. Not my favorite from The Bled. I think my favorite is Found in the Flood, but The Bled is a really, I love, listen to The Bled. This is what I was talking about when I was talking about free, like, festival CDs. So my dad saw the Pledge of Allegiance tour in 2001, and they gave out these free sampler CDs where, like, they would have, like, a bunch of bands that were playing at the tour, and they would have a lot of just some tracks from them. Pretty cool. I wish that festivals or tours still did this. System of a Down, Hypnotize, another very good album from them. I have a funny story about this. I bought this in an FYE in a mall, and after I bought this, I really need to use the bathroom, but the sink was like really far away from the counter in the bathroom, so I had to like lean up against it, and like the weight of the bag that I was holding, it unfortunately like fell between me and the counter, and I like pushed the CD with the weight of my body. And luckily the CD didn't get damaged, but I hadn't, like, literally 2 minutes after I had bought it, I cracked the casing. This is why jewel cases are better. See how easy this broke. I'm really mad about this one. My Chemical Romance, Black Parade, Living with Ghosts. I got this at Half Price Books. Now, with a lot of, like, thrift stores like this, just to prevent people from stealing, they will hold on to the CDs, like, separately at the front of the store. So when I rang it up, I was like, okay, can I get this? And you know what they did? They gave me the wrong CD. The fuck is this? Eternal Sunshine? I have the second disc. They gave me the second disc, Living with Ghosts, but they didn't give me the Black Parade. It was $10. I paid $10 for the wrong CD, and I'm a little upset. One of my more expensive purchases, Mr. Bungled Bowl of Chile. I'll be honest, I don't listen to this one a lot. I think I just like the novelty of having it, because it said out of print. I was like, oh, this must be rare. Okay, one of my favorite albums, Augustana, All the Stars and Boulevards. This album is so good. I love this album so much. I had spent a long time looking for this one, and then I found it in a record store, the Streetlight in Santa Cruz. Streetlight is also another, like, record store chain. But really, really cool album. Dog. There haven't been a lot of albums that I have, like, eagerly awaited. Like, I'd be like, oh, I can't wait for this album. There've been a few, and not a lot of albums that I have bought right when they release. But this is one of the very few. My favorite band of all time is Avenged Sevenfold. It had only been 7 years since their last album, when Life is But a Dream came out. But, you know, I'm not very old. I was about 9 or 10 when The Stage released, and I was 16 when Life is But a Dream released. So, you know, that's a pretty big jump in just, like, maturity. Like, that's not a long time, but it feels like a long time. It took me I got this maybe a month after it released, because a lot of places were sold out immediately, and they did have, like, on their website, they had, like, a Life is But a Dream tracker. Like, they showed, like, oh, we will be selling at these locations, and they had, like, a Hot Topic exclusive vinyl for it. I went to my local Hot Topic because it said on the website that they would be selling it there. I asked the cashier, like, hey, you guys got Life is But a Dream? And she said, we haven't sold vinyls here in 20 years. You lied to me? Okay, but anyways, I love this album so much. I know a lot of people had mixed feelings about this album. I also had my opinions about it, but I had just been waiting so long. I love this album so freaking much. Don't like the packaging. I adore this album so much. It's such a good album. I know it's a lot different from what they normally release, and definitely the earlier stuff is still my favorite. But I just this album is so important to me. Waking the Fallen, Resurrected. Waking the Fallen is my favorite Avenged Sevenfold album and also my favorite album of all time. And Waking the Fallen Resurrected has a second disc where they have like alternate and demo versions of some of their songs. Really good. Please listen to Waking the Fallen. It's such a good album. Bullet for My Valentine, The Poison, 20th anniversary edition. Bullet for My Valentine and Trivium. They went on a 20th anniversary tour together because Trivium's album Ascendancy and Bullet for My Valentine's Poison was released the same year. And because those two bands are like similar genres and were very like closely associated together back in the day, there was so much hype around it. I remember being so excited. I've been listening to Bullet for My Valentine and Trivium since before I could speak. I love them so much. I was so excited for this album. Bought this CD, went to the tour, was freaking amazing. I loved it so much. And then they canceled the rest of it. My heart genuinely goes out to anybody who was planning on going. Really popular album of theirs, but just so good. I freaking love this album so much. It's such a good album. Burnt bootleg of My Chemical Romance. I Brought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love. I'll be honest, the first time I heard this album, I wasn't too fond of it, just because I think my music taste was very, very limited. I feel like it was just a little too raw to my taste. I think the first song that I heard from this album was, I want to say Head First for Halos. And I don't know, I just wasn't a big fan of it. So I put off listening to this album for a while. I did not listen to it up until just last year. I saw My Chemical Romance on their Black Parade, whatever is still alive. And I was like, you know what? Let's finally get to this album, even though I haven't listened to it. And it's such a good album. I'll be honest, this one was kind of an impulse buy. Muse, Drones. I had a bit of a Muse phase, I want to say, like near my beginning of high school. This is a pretty good album, but I'm not as big of a Muse fan as I used to be. Exodus, Shovel-Headed Kill Machine. I know this is a very, very delightful album cover. One of my favorite bands growing up. I think this was the first album I ever listened to from them. I love 44 Magnum Opus. Tomahawk, Anonymous. Is this the Anonymous?
Is this the Anonymous party?
I'm sorry. I like Tomahawk a lot. I'll be honest, this is not my favorite album for them. It's okay, but I really like Tomahawk, and I'm seeing them this summer, so. Prong, State of Emergency. Prong was one of my favorite bands growing up, especially in middle school. Revenge Best Served Cold was literally, like, my anthem. I thought I was so tough for listening to that song when I was, like, 12. I mean, they're a fantastic band. I bought this album around when it released. I'll be honest, I wasn't, like, completely shaken by this album. It's a good album. Nothing to write home about. But it was a bit more expensive than what I usually buy because I bought it new right on release. But still, very good album. Came with a poster. Another band I grew up listening to, Havoc, New Eyes EP. My dad got this for me as a gift. Mr. Bungle, Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny. So I got this at Rasputin's. I was kind of on a time crunch, and I only had enough money for one CD. I didn't bring a ton of money with me. I brought maybe about like $12. Because usually they're pretty cheap at Rasputin's. But this one was $10. I only had enough money for one CD. And my options were California. They had California there. Or Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny. I love California. But I chose Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny. And I haven't been able to find California since. And I'm really upset. Bullet for My Valentine, Scream, Aim, Fire. Favorite album from Bullet for My Valentine. Such a good album. This is actually one of the first bands I ever saw live, The Bronx. I freaking love The Bronx so much. So I ended up finding, the tag says Rasputin's on it, but I ended up finding this at a Savers for $3. All That Remains. I love All That Remains, especially this album. This is a really good album. Found this at Rasputin's after a long time of searching for it. It was $10, a little pricey, but very, very good album. Is Anthrax, Persistence of Time. This is from my dad's CD collection. The case is quite a bit scratched. And CD itself is actually in pretty good condition. I feel like this is a hot take. Out of like the big four, I think Anthrax is my favorite. I like Metallica, like Megadeth, kind of like Slayer. I'll be honest, Slayer is probably my least favorite out of the big four, but Anthrax is my favorite, and I feel like not a lot of people say that. At the Drive-In. freaking love At the Drive-In. I got this one at the Hollywood Amoeba Music. It was the first time I'd ever been to Hollywood. And Acrobatic Tenement. I love this album. Relationship of Command. Such a good album. Oh my god. I listen to this all the time. I got this at Half Price Books. I have a story about this album. So, I bought this at my local Half Price Books. And it just so happened that when I got this album, they had At the Drive-In's entire discography for sale. I had enough money to buy all of it because it was about for like $6 each. I had enough money to buy all of it. Yet I only bought this one. And I'm really mad because I don't have it there anymore. I have pretty much all their albums on CD. The ones that I don't have, I have on vinyl, except for Black Rain. I can't find Black Rain anywhere. Sounding the Seventh Trumpet. My friend got this at our local music store. The first time I heard this album, I did not like it. I was in middle school at the time. I was not a very spontaneous person. The first song I ever heard from this album was Lips of Deceit, and I was like, this is too heavy for me. I can't do this. Definitely a lot different from their other stuff, but I've realized that I like their earlier stuff more. Speaking of earlier stuff, we have my prized possession, favorite album of all time, Avenged Sevenfold, Waking the Fallen. Best album ever. City of Evil. I listened to this album probably the most in middle school. Big leagues are coming to town. Just kidding. This album is so good. I don't really know what else to say other than I love Avenged Sevenfold. Okay, now this album means this one right here. This is Avenged Sevenfold self-titled. This is, I think, their most popular album. So I don't really have anything to say about it that's already been said, other than this is probably the first album I ever listened to, and this was my absolute favorite album growing up. Afterlife is definitely, I'm pretty sure it's one of their most popular songs, if not their most popular. It was one of the singles off of this album, but I had listened to it when it released, and it was my favorite song growing up. The music video, I would watch that over and over again on YouTube. It's just, this album means so much to me. My dad actually bought this for me for my 15th birthday, one of the very first CDs in my CD collection. And then my brother ended up breaking the case listening to it, but whatever. This is actually the very first Avenged Sevenfold CD that I ever got, and also very first CD in my collection, Avenged Sevenfold Nightmare. This is another one of my favorite albums from them, and this was another big album for me growing up, especially in middle school. Welcome to the Family was my favorite song ever, and I know it's still a very good song. I love Welcome to the Family, but it's very much got like that teen angsty, like I'm nothing like y'all vibe. Like, such a good album. My dad got this for me, for Christmas one year, and this is just such an important album to me. So this is what started the whole thing. I was like, you know what? I love music. I want to start collecting CDs. This is what started it all. Both of these are from Half Price. Avril Lavigne, Let Go, and Under My Skin. Another artist that I grew up with. I loved Avril Lavigne. One of my favorite albums of all time, Bad Religion, Against the Grain. I took this from my dad's CD collection. Bad Religion. I freaking love Bad Religion. This album is so good. It's a pretty short album because the tracks are all pretty short as per Bad Religion, but I love this album. I was introduced to this album by my algebra teacher in high school. He played this, like, he used to play music while we were working, and he played Let Them Eat War, and I was like, whoa, this is really good. And now this is one of my favorite albums of all time. So, The Bled Past the Flask, really good album. I actually found this one very recently. I was going music shopping with my friends. We were literally about to leave. We were about to get into the checkout line, and I quickly glanced at, like, at the very front of the Rasputin that we were at, they had a clearance section, and I just like took a very quick glance, and then I saw this, and I was like, wait a minute. I have been looking for this album for a while, and they had this for 50 cents. Bargain! Both for My Valentine, Fever, also one of my favorite albums growing up. So, Cold Chamber, one of my favorite nu metal bands growing up. Definitely, they're not really underrated, because they're still very big. But compared to, like, the fame of a lot of other nu metal bands, like Horn System, whatever, they're definitely not as well known. And I wish they were, because Cold Chamber freaking rocks. Chamber music, probably one of my favorite albums of all time. And Dark Days, very good album. These are all from my dad's CD collection. My dad was a huge Cold Chamber fan when they were super popular. He used to follow them around a lot. He actually, there's this one infamous tale that he tells me a lot. The first time he ever wanted to see Cold Chamber, I think they were on the chamber music tour. He saw them like at some amphitheater. They actually showed up, but they just didn't end up going on stage. And you know who was opening up for them? Slipknot. Yeah, that's Slipknot. No big deal. This was before Slipknot had gotten big, so they ended up letting Slipknot play a longer set because Cold Chamber had just refused to play. I don't know if they got into some fight because my dad was staying at a hotel, and the hotel that he went to, he actually ended up meeting the singer at that hotel. Pretty crazy. When I was younger, I was like, why are the time signatures weird? Why does it sound like that? I don't like how this sounds. But anyways, I love these albums now. Train of Thought. This album cover kind of freaked me out when I was younger, but that's okay. Octavarium, probably my favorite album from Dream Theater. Dope. I freaking love Dope. Probably one of my favorite new metal bands. I saw them live at Aftershock. So cool. I had been looking for Dope for a long time. I eventually found this for $3 at Rasputin's. Was so excited to find it. Evanescence, Fallen. I know Evanescence is a very big band. So, like, you know, everybody knows Evanescence. But everybody knows Bring Me to Life. I don't hear a lot of talk about the other tracks on this album. They're so good. Whisper? Whisper changed my life. Speaking of changed my life, Faith No More, Angel Dust. This is from my dad's collection. This is probably, I know I say this about a lot, but this is definitely one of my favorite albums of all time. This album is just incredible. Just completely changed how I saw music when I first listened to it. I bought this one myself. I had been looking for this album for a long time. Bought it at Rasputin's for $10. Another one of my favorites from Faith No More, King for a Day. This album is really, really good. I love Digging the Grave, my favorite song of all time from Faith No More, and Just a Man. Really good album. Thomas! Fifi Dobson. Love Fifi Dobson. I got this at Savers for $3. Green Day, 21st Century Breakdown Day, Dookie. Welcome to Paradise was one of my favorite songs as a kid. Love that song. So this album is very special to me. I took this from my dad's CD collection. Oh shit, my mom texting me. Peanut butter coffee cake? Oh, okay. Hurry up, hurry. Got this from Rasputin's for $2. Take Action. It is a compilation album. It's got like a bunch of like post-hardcore, punk, whatever, stuff among that genre. Really cool, really cool. I burnt this one, Perfect 10, Deadly Medley. This album is so good, but Perfect 10, is the only album from Deadly Medley that I know of. I think it's their only album. This album is really good. If you like new metal, you should listen to it. I don't see a lot of people talk about this album. It's so good. Okay, Roadrunner United. This is probably my most expensive one. This was $20, but I like this album a lot. Pretty cool. Devil Driver. I took this from my dad's CD collection. I like this album a lot. I like Devil Driver. Very cool band. Melvins. I do not know a lot about Melvins, but I want to get to know them more because I'm going to be seeing them at Aftershock this fall. But I like the few songs that I know from them. This is from my dad's CD collection. Melvins. Did not know my dad was into the Melvins, but pretty cool. I like this album. Houdini. Garbage. Got this at Rasputin's. They're not really underrated. They definitely have a pretty big following, but I don't see a lot of people talk about them. So start talking. Taste of Chaos. Sampler. Taste of Chaos tour. I think the Taste of Chaos tour is coming back, but nowhere near me, and not with any bands that I like. I've come back, Taste of Chaos. We miss you. From my dad's CD collection, another album that I grew up with. 311, self-titled. This album was really good. I loved 311 growing up. My favorite song in middle school was Hive. I loved Hive. Okay, these are all from my dad's CD collection. Korn, just a bunch. I love Korn. I know, obviously, it's super popular. One of the biggest rock bands of all time. Very big fan of them. I saw them live, I think, my sophomore year of high school. Don't know. But love Korn. Grew up with them. I think my favorite is Issues. But anyways, This is the first album I ever bought for my CD collection. The first two CDs that I ever put in my CD collection were the obviously Nightmare and Self-Titled from Avenged Sevenfold. But the first one I ever bought for myself was my freshman year of high school. I went to a thrift store. I found Linkin Park Hybrid Theory. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest Linkin Park fan, but I definitely really like this album. And it was just like in some random thrift store. So I was pretty lucky to find this very good album. Um, very special to me just because it was the very, very first CD I ever bought. But yeah. On that topic, second CD I ever bought, my collection. And one of my favorite albums of all time. This album like changed the way I view music. Mars Volta, Francis the Mute. This album is just, it's so special to me. It's so good. I don't know what else to say about it. Mars Volta. The Last in the Comatorium. Also one of Mars Volta's most popular albums. I probably could have bought it new, but just like I said, I prefer to buy my CDs at I prefer to thrift my CDs, and I don't really go outside of like my local like area, but still, I was so excited when I found this. I got this for $2 at Rasputin's. Midtown, Living Well's Best Revenge. You want to know something funny? I did not know that Gabe Saporta was in Cobra Starship before. I listened to Midtown before I listened to Cobra Starship. So I was like, oh, that's the guy from Midtown. And people were like, huh? Yeah, okay. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, good album. Also got this at a Rasputin's for $4. Mr. Bungle, Disco Volante. I really like this album. It's a very interesting album, definitely an acquired taste. Something funny about this copy is that it says it's for promotional use only, but I mean, they sold it to me, so I guess I have a promo copy of it. I mean, it works fine. So, but really cool album. I love the album cover. I think it's very interesting. I hate when I listen to an artist and then independently decide my favorite songs from them, and then it happens to be that my favorite songs are all their most popular. But my favorite album from Mr. Bungle is definitely their self-titled. Funny story about this album. So this is my dad's copy of it from his collection. He was a very big Mr. Bungle fan when they were starting out, because he was a very big Faith No More fan. He bought this around when it released. It was soon enough because this still has the first track listed as Travolta on his copy. And if you don't know, they had to change it because of danger of a lawsuit from John Travolta. They very quickly changed it to quote unquote. A little fact about this. Very known fact, but just in case you didn't know. But yeah, my dad has a copy of it where it still says Travolta. But anyways, I found this album in my dad's CD collection. I had only heard Mr. Bungle a few times, and I just thought the album cover looked ridiculous. So I was like, you know what? I'll give this a listen. I don't know if you ever listened to the first track of this album, quote unquote, but it starts off with like pretty much complete silence for the first 30 seconds. I thought that it just wasn't playing or that it was really quiet. So I turned the volume dial on my CD player way up, and it starts so suddenly, like the beep, and it scared the shit out of me. And when I first heard the first track, I was like, what the fuck is this? I didn't believe what I was listening to. But this album, so good. I already showed this, but Mudvayne and All Things to Come, love Mudvayne. Probably one of my favorite new metal bands. I've seen them live twice. Beyond the Valley of Murder Dolls. Yeah, I like Murder Dolls a lot. I wish they made more music, but that'd kind of be hard to do because Joey Jordison is dead. Murder Doll, My Chemical Romance. My Chemical Romance is they have a very special place in my heart. I know, obviously, really popular, but for me, MCR, I didn't really get into them up until my freshman year of high school. I tried listening to them in middle school. They've always been really popular, you know, but the thing about MCR is that their most popular songs are all from the Black Parade. Like Welcome to the Black Parade and Teenagers, I think, are two of their most popular. And those were the ones I'd always hear on the radio. And I'll be honest, I don't like those songs. I first heard those songs and I was like, oh, this MCR stuff sounds boring. I assumed that the rest of their songs sounded like that, so I just refused to listen to them for a while just because I thought all of their songs sounded like that. But this is what changed everything. I bought the CD. I was like, you know what? Might as well. Listen to this whole album. Incredible. This is my favorite album from MCR. Very, very good. My favorite song is To the End, which they haven't played in 20 years, but they just recently did. And I wasn't there to see it, so really upset. But anyways, Black Parade. I have grown to like this album a lot. I think I was just turned off by teenagers and Welcome to the Black Parade in middle school, so I just assumed that the rest of the album was like that. But I've grown to really like this album. I love Mama, and This Is How I Disappear is fantastic. Love that song. A lot of people, okay, once again, this is a really popular band, but I feel like a lot of people are turned off of this band just because of the name. Oingo Boingo. I recently introduced my best friend to Oingo Boingo, and at first she was like, bro, what the fuck? That's the stupidest name. But now she really likes them. This is my favorite album from Oingo Boingo. I've been looking for this album for a while. Dead Man's Party, very good album. Love Oingo Boingo. Poison the Well. This CD case is broken, so I have to be really careful with it. Wrong, Rude Awakening. Yeah, I really like this album. Unfortunately, that's the name of the song, but unfortunately was one of my favorite tracks growing up. I keep on saying like, oh, this is my favorite like track growing up. I feel like a lot of reasons that I like a lot of these songs is just because of nostalgia. I'm a very nostalgiaholic person. Speaking of nostalgia, one of my favorite albums in middle school, Rush, Roll the Bones. I thought I was so quirky for listening to Rush. I was like, I'm an old soul. I do love Rush, but definitely part of like listening to that is that I want it to be special. This from my dad's collection, Iowa Slipknot. It's all shiny. I just got this one recently because they recently did a repressing of this EP. Seosin. I've been listening to them for a while and I still don't know how to say their name. I've seen them live, but probably my favorite EP of all time. All 5 of these songs. I wish there was more. So good. I know Anthony Green was only part of the band for a little while, but just he was so great on this album. Love Anthony Green. Love Seosin. Love this album. Translating the name. I love you. Okay, from my dad's collection, Static X. This is the first album I ever heard from Static X. I heard Black and White on the radio. I was like, this is pretty good. Love Static X so much. Love them. This is probably the worst case I've ever had of finding a band, really liking them, finding out that they have like 1 or 2 albums that they released 20-something years ago and never released anything after that. Stereo Mud. I found this for $4 at Rasputin. I just bought it because I thought the album cover looked cool. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. Freaking love this album. Stereo Mud, Perfect Self. This album is perfect. No skip. Literally, I never skip a single song from this album. It's just so good. And they only have 1 album after that, and it's kind of shit. And they haven't done anything since, so really upset about that. But very good album. If you like new metal, listen to this album. This was an album that I grew to like. When I first heard, the first song I ever heard from Taproot was Poem. Their tracks are definitely a bit more like sensitive and emotional. A bit more than like new metal usually is. The first time I listened to Poem, I was like, this is whiny. I don't like this. This is too sensitive. But I eventually heard Gift, because this was for $2. I just bought it. I was like, might as well. And I was blown away. I've grown to like Taproot, and I'm glad that I gave them a second chance, because I really like them now. Speaking of Poem, I also have Welcome. Hello everybody, my name is Welcome. Welcome. But yeah. Now that I've listened to the whole thing, very good album. Sorry that I misjudged you from Poem, but really good. Now we're getting into a sensitive topic. This is a very sensitive topic for me. The Warning. So, The Warning has been one of my favorite bands. I know I say that a lot, but genuinely one of my favorite bands since middle school. One of my like top 5 bands ever. Ever since they released their first album in 2017, I've been listening to them since their first album. Like, I think for me, like, same thing with Kitty, to have a all-female band in a very male-dominated scene. And not only that, but they started off very young. A young Mexican girl band. I was like, oh my god, these girls are just like me, and they're making music. And it was like groundbreaking. It was mind-blowing at the time. Like, I'd never heard anything like this. And this album is incredible. Queen of the Murder Scene, amazing. And they were so young when they wrote it. It's just, like, The Warning genuinely has such a special place in my heart. This album is one of my favorite albums of all time. Listen to this album. So I've been following The Warning ever since their first album. One of my favorite bands of all time. Seen them in concert multiple times. Love them. And so I was very excited, very, very excited for their newer album, Keep Me Fed. And I even pre-ordered it and bought the specialty one with Paulina on the cover because she's my favorite. And that album sucks. I'm so sorry. This is dog shit. I hate it. I don't have a lot of CDs that I don't like. Like, cause normally with a lot of CDs, obviously I listen to them before I buy them, you know. I buy a CD because I know it. I pre-ordered this one, so I hadn't heard the album yet. It's dog shit. This is probably my least favorite in my collection. I don't like this album at all. And it makes me sad because I have a signed like photo from them in here. I paid extra for the specialty cover and a signed photo. And it sucks. Speaking of meaning so much to me, one of my favorite albums growing up. I know I keep on saying that, but like Trivium, this is one of my favorite albums, like ever. Trivium Ascendancy. Saw them on tour, great album. I have been looking for this CD for ages. My dad actually used to have this album. Pretty sure he bought it when it came out because he had been listening to Trivium for a long time. But he lost it. Like, it just disappeared from his collection one day. I don't know where it went. So it was my mission. I made it my mission to look for this album. I've been looking for it for years. Probably one of the most sought after CDs from my collection that I've been looking for. And I just randomly found it last year, some random day, like on a Tuesday, was at half price. And lo and behold, Trivium Ascendancy. It ascended just for me. Love this album. Really good. If you haven't listened to it, listen to it. The Crusade. Love Trivium. Love all their stuff. And then the last one from my collection. This is a funny story. Also, one of my favorite albums. Freaking love this album. It's definitely different from what I usually listen to, but Zebrahead, Waste of Mind. This one is a funny story. I bought this my senior year of high school last year, and one morning, I was just listening to this album on my phone, and I was like, this is a really good album. I wish I had a CD of it. Later that day, me and my friend ended up going to our local record store, and it was like a spur of the moment thing. We're like, hey, we got some time before we have to go to this thing that we have to do later. So you're like, might as well just stop by. And I found this for $2. Manifesting. Does it work? Maybe. This is proof. This video is already getting really long, and I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for talking your ear off, but I love to talk about music. This was a lot of fun going through all of my CDs and just yapping about. And I hope you enjoyed listening to me yapping. I'm sorry if I took a really long time. I probably cut a lot of stuff out of this video just because it went on for so long. But thank you for watching. I hope this inspires somebody to pick up, just like look at some CDs, listen to some, start a collection, and give me some money. Now, I don't really know what to say. Like, subscribe, but whatever. Bye.
We're gonna need something else. Something sexy, like the...
What year are we in?
But with heart. Like the...
What year are we in?
But most important, with some... Like the time the gym burned down.
We're on it.